Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to a MAM. It's a new MAM. It's not a hexagon MAM. It's not an insane MAM. It's a normal MAM. It's on the same map as my other two MAMs. And as you can see, we are looking at the hub and there ain't nothing coming in. This one should still be coming in. That's my crystal MAM. The crystal MAM should still be working. I don't understand why it's not working, but it's probably spinning up. But yes, I have turned off the normal MAM and I have turned off the new MAM. And as you can tell by the description, we've got something very, very special going on for this. And this is it's what I like to call a speed MAM or a speedrun MAM or something like that. So the idea is we are no longer building a slow MAM. So we had a slow MAM. It was very, very slow. The spin up time was incredibly, incredibly slow. This new MAM is designed for the spin up time to be as small as possible. And that's why I call it a speed run, because I'm trying to get it as small as possible. So let's take a bit of a zoom out and let's have a look at the speed run MAM. So there it is. This is my hub. As you can see, I got rid of all of the kind of other milestone shapes. So these first 6, they're all destroyed. They're not going to work anymore. I've got these 2 coming in. These 2 lines are coming in from the other MAMs. And then this is the speed MAM. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're actually going to do a bit of a speed run on this. I'm going to show you how the speed run MAM works, how the whole concept works. And then we are going to, then we're going to go through the base and we're going to give you a bit of a tour. So as you can see, this is the normal thing that splits it off. I've put a little button on there and I'm actually going to grab my phone and open the stopwatch. This game is obviously not designed to be a speedrunning game, so there's no in-game clock. I could use actually, I could use my XSplit timer, but I'm going to use a stopwatch. So what we do is we press start and we press this button at exactly the same time. Boom. That didn't work. Oh yeah, you've got to actually toggle it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Go. Okay. So we've turned on the MAM and the MAM will now start producing. All of these belts were pre-cleared beforehand. But now we can see that all of these had switched on and it's going to start sending stuff through. And yeah, so previously, if we have a look at my times here, I was originally doing 4 minutes, 41 seconds. And then I replaced all of the long bits of belts with jumpers and I got 3:37. So now we're testing it with a clear, because this was with crap still on the belt, so we had to wait for the crap to clear out. Now this is with a fully clear MAM, so we've cleared it all out, we've introduced the button, and now we're going to see how long it takes. And there's a little bit of lag here. I'm going to blame it on the jumpers. This little, yeah, we can see starting to come through here, and that's going to happen on all 4 of them. And yeah, it is an incredible MAM, an amazing MAM. It's designed from the ground up to be as quick as possible. So we can see this corner is just 3 pins and we've already got 3 pins coming out. So that is a minute and a half and we've already got 3 pins coming out. This section, we've already got this shape coming out. It is incredibly fast. And we've already got the other 2 quarters coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait here and I'm going to press the stop button the instant I get the purple star. So my finger is hovering over the stop button. As soon as we get a purple star, I'm going to press stop and we're going to see. So it looks like we're probably going to get around the 2.5 minute mark, which is really good because, yeah, like I said, 3.5 minutes when there was crap that needed to clear out and almost 5 minutes when I didn't have jumpers. All right, so finger over the stop button, stop. 2 minutes and 8 seconds, which is incredibly fast. It is incredibly fast. I'd love to get You can't actually type numbers in here. 2, 8. But we can do 2, 8 there. So that is with clear and jump and yeah. So I was going to introduce stack dumpers to dump all the detritus off here, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. The space was a little bit too tight. Anyway, as you can see, that is the base is going through, and I swear these jumpers, they're causing my game to stutter. Before I had the jumpers, my game was not stuttering at all. Now I've got all these jumpers and my game is starting to stutter a little bit. Or maybe I just went over the threshold of I've got too much in the base. Maybe I need to destroy the other MAMs for throughput. But anyway, we're going to go through this MAM now. As you can see, it's spitting through. And we're going to show you in detail how we got it so freaking quick. All right, that is 2 minutes and 8 seconds from us hitting the button and turning the machine on to actually having a shape going into the output. And that's 4 full belts. All right, that is 4. Well, it was 208 to the point where the first one came through, but we have got 4 full belts being produced by this. So potentially, if you went down to 1 full belt, you could get it even quicker. But 4 full belts is pretty good. So I'm not sure if I should give you the tour with the MAM turned on or with it turned off. But anyway, let's zoom out and let's start with the tour. As you can see, this MAM is a beast. You've got massive trains everywhere. Okay, and the name of the game for this MAM is caching. Is absolutely caching. You want to have every single high level, if every single shape as close as possible to the MAM, cached in as much quantity as you need for the MAM. And yeah, so we're going to, I'm not sure actually which direction we should start with. Let's start from the middle. All right, you've seen the middle. Let's start from the middle. Okay, so this 3x3 block is combining each separate layer into 4. There's no logic on this one because I'm at level 79. Every single shape is 4 levels. If you started getting 3 level ones, I'd have to wire this up. And you can see there are spaces here. If we zoom down, what I've done with this stacker design is at the end, there's 2 cables that can be put in here. This one will cause this one to go over there, jump down, and then, a bit hard to see, and then across. So it kind of just skips the stacker and just goes directly onto the belt. And then there's another cable for the bottom one to do the same thing. So they're both, each stacker, once they get to the end, they're both capable of just completely going down and across, which is a nice little skipper thing going on. But as I said, for stacking the layers, I have not hooked them up yet. Now, you've got the 4 quadrants, 1 for each quarter. We've got, this is all the logic for the quadrant. I think this is the 3rd one. We're using the same receivers as we do for the other MAM. So yeah, split them off into the 4 quarters. There is no room for displays here, so you can't see what the different quadrants are. I suppose I could squeeze in displays somewhere, but it would just be confusing. So anyway, these are the quarters, and this logic is only used for these guys to split off what needs to be split off. Oops. So if we have a look here, there is a little bit of splitting on up here on layer 1. Yeah, we can see these ones have been turned off. Because there's nothing coming from this one. This one is the top right. It gets a little bit confusing that this one is not. This one is the top right. So this guy, you can see at the bottom left, goes into the stacker, and then it's skipped because this is turned off. It's skipped and it just goes straight out to the main line here and goes along. So that is the way those little skippers work. And yeah, so this is basically just cramped. So I've shoved all 4 quarters into one layer in this little 2x2. And obviously the reason I did that is because the tighter the space you can make it, the less time it takes for the shape to get to the end, and we're trying to get it to the end as quickly as possible. This space could probably be knocked down a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how you would do it. Maybe you could move this whole thing into the hub, and then you would have this belt and this belt being inputted into this thing, and then this thing over here. That would probably save you a few seconds, I think. It would save this much travel time, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Yeah, so you could probably do that. Yeah. Now, so this is all pretty standard though. I mean, it's incredibly fast. We got jumpers literally everywhere, and yeah. Now you're wondering, how do we get these shapes so quickly into this MAM? Because they were here immediately. So let's show you the real magic of this MAM. Yeah, this thing has every single shape on a belt, and there's one of these for each quarter. Okay, this thing is absolutely insane. And as you can see, we've managed to squeeze filters into every single belt. This one we actually had to go all the way over here because there wasn't enough room. Okay, this is 34 tiles wide, this 2x2. And we have 33 belts. So you got 4 shapes, 8 colors per shape, that's 32, plus 1 for the pins, that's 33. Now, as you can see, we're just splitting off the quarter, multiplying it into a full shape. We don't even use the shape analyzer here, we just cut and rotate and get the shape, and it'll have the color in it already. And then we apply that filter to every single belt. And the circle is the one that gets pulled off and sent up to the top and jumped over because it's nice and fast. And then we just do the cutting and the rotating to get it in the right rotation. We squeeze it all into this panel. So this is it. When we switch over the MAM to a different shape, this is it. This one gets cut off. This new one goes down. There's no dumpers in this MAM. I couldn't really think of a good place to put them. You wouldn't want to put them on here because then that slows down the progress. I thought about putting them at the end of these stackers, but I really wasn't sure how to do it. I just don't know. So my solution is no dumpers, just implement the button, turn off the button, clear the entire thing, turn on the button. And the good thing about that is you don't have to wait. Excuse me. You don't have to wait for this shape to be finished, because previously the trigger to start the speed run was going to the next shape, which sucked because it means that after you did each speed run, you'd have to wait for the shape to be finished before you went to the next one. Now we got the button, so we can turn it off and yeah, clear the entire thing and then do another speed run, tweak some things, do another speed run, and it's all good. So I don't usually like to go backwards. It feels weird to go backwards. So we're going to go forwards instead. I've showed you the weird bit. So we're going to go through the entire MAM up to the weird bit. And what I actually am going to do is I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. Turn the MAM off and let it just go through. Maybe we'll clear it and try and... I'm not expecting it to get a better time. 2:08. Not expecting a better one than that. But we'll turn it off anyway and we'll give it another run at the end and see what our new time is. So anyway, let's have a look. Over here, pins. We're producing the 12 full belts of pins, sending them over to the train station. That's pretty standard. There's nothing special over here. And then over here, this is our color thing. So we got this beautiful color mixer platform. So this is white, purple, yellow, teal, green, blue, red. Exactly the same setup that we used for both the normal MAM and the crystal MAM. Sent over to 4 different trains. And that's pretty standard. Now here's the part where it starts to get non-standard. Now these are still standard. If we go down here, this is the shape. So we're still sending the basic circles in. This time we're sending 8 full belts. I think before we were sending like 3 or 4 or something. This time we're sending 8. It's not because we need the volume. is just because it's nicer if there's 8 separate lanes coming out. And then we go over to here. So we've got the color being sent in from here. The color gets split up here, and you can see we've got 3 different belts going down into one, which is just nice for throughput reasons. Let's knock that off. Oh, by the way, this is my 4 level crystal, a random shape. As you can see, still only 1 crystal color per shape. And as you can see, it still does not like painting. It really doesn't like painting for some reason. It can paint, my MAM can paint, but it doesn't often have to paint anything. So yeah, so all this is doing is taking these 8 and sends 2 layers down the belt at the same time, and then splits them off into different belts. So this is 4 belts, this is 4 belts, and then these are just generic painters. So I've been using this little template for a million years, basically. And this one is pre-cache, so it doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to build it up. Basically, for this MAM, I built it up and then I let it sit without actually doing anything for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, something like that, waiting for all the caches to build up. And as you can see, they still have not stacked up. These things are still not fully stacked for the pointy thing. For other shapes, I think no, this one hasn't fully stacked either. So yeah, there is an incredible amount of train station caching for this MAM. And these, like I said, it's been running for a very long time. You'd expect these to be filled up. No, they are not. And it's not because we're actually using that much. It's just because of the incredible amount of caching. So anyway, we've got one of these for each shape. And in case you didn't notice, the last one doesn't get colored, it's just gray. So we've got all 8 of the same shape, one of each color. And then for each shape, we've got 4 train stations. And then these are these 16 train lines for all of those 16 trains. Bloody cough. I should not be doing this early in the morning. And then we've got one of these per layer. And then you can see this little train. This is the pins one coming in from over here. And these are the 4 separate shapes. So what do we got here? We got the pointy, the square, the thing, and the circle. Now the order of these doesn't actually matter. You can put them in whichever order you want, and the pins whichever order you want. The point is, we've got this thing. And what this thing is doing is it's compressing everything. So these 8 separate carriages get shoved onto, along with the pins, that makes 9. So they get shoved onto these 3 carriages in a different stack. So each layer of the wagon has a different stack. And this train carries everything. This is a train with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 carriages. Each carriage is full. Each carriage has a different thing on every layer. It is fully stacked. And I love the fact that this is finally cached up. We haven't filled the cache for the entire system, but we've filled these caches, which is great. And these caches are starting to fill up as well, which is really great. So this entire thing is for the top layer, I believe. And then we got one for the second layer, one for the third layer, one for the fourth layer. And that's why I had so many trains coming in. So many insane amount of trains all coming in to fill this up. So we have a look. I think this is the third layer. Is this the third? Yes. Those colors I did try to match up the train colors with the layer colors. So basically, you have the trains coming in. So this is, for example, this is the third layer, the top right quarter. So we've got 11 stations, all the different things, and we just basically split them off into different belts. So there is 1 belt per shape. That's all you need, because of course you cut it, and when you cut it, you split it into 4, and that's how we get the 4 belts of output. So you only need 1 belt per shape. yeah, and so we've got 33 belts coming out of these, just basically being split off. All these three are actually four. These four giant 3x3 platforms, all they're doing is just splitting it off, and then we cram it all onto this one little 2x2. Splitting all these down. We'll have a look at this in a little bit more detail because this is actually interesting. So for example, for the white square, we pop it up to the second level, we wrap it around and then send it back down. Now I was originally going to make this tileable. So you could have one and then it sends the correct one off to the side and then you tile another one onto the top. I have since decided not to do that. I've since decided that we just have one of these per quarter. So that means that little funky design is not necessary anymore. So I could redo this, and then I could probably move some of the filters a little bit further forward. Might save a few seconds. Just might save a few seconds. But I'll see. I might come back later on and I might mess with this stuff because I'd love to get less than a minute. No, sorry, I'd love to get less than 2 minutes. I think it's probably possible if I do some of these changes, like reworking this sort of stuff. Yeah. So that is pretty much that. And yeah, as this is where we already saw at the video, this signal gets sent over and it pops out whichever one it wants into this belt and then sends it down. So depending on the shape, if it's like a cross, it's like a grey cross, that one got to pop up here, has to take all the way down there. So that one will slow down the machine a little bit. So there's probably some optimizations you can do there. For example, you can send all the grey shapes into the middle. And then, because grey shapes are very, very popular, and then, I don't know, maybe you could do some statistical analysis and say, okay, grey is extremely popular, and then white is the next most popular and stuff like that. And then you order these based on that. So you'd have all the grey ones in the middle, and then you'd have the white ones around the grey ones, and then you sort of spread it out. Here, what we've done is we've done a pretty standard sort of order. So we've got all the pointies, then we've got all the squares, then we've got all the diamonds, then we've got all the circles, then we've got the pins at the last. So pins all the way over here. They have to go there and then back up and then across and then down. That's not really good. And we do use pins fairly often. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. But yeah, statistically you could reorder these to get it a little bit closer. I might think about that. So anyway, that is the MAM. We have 16 trains coming in for one train per quarter. And then we got 16 little sorters. And then we go down these belts to get to the stacker. I don't know how I could have made this any closer. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I could have made this closer. I could have made it closer on this side. I could move these up one. Because there is room for this belt to go here. I could move this one down. You could actually, if you get rid of these train stations that are delivering the output from the normal MAM and the crystal MAM, or move these train stations all the way over. Ooh, I wonder, actually. If we do this, yoink. And we do this, yoink. And we do that. Yeah, then potentially you can save a full 2 spaces here. This one can move up to here. And it'll save you a little bit of space. Maybe I'll do that later. The problem with doing that now is it's going to destroy all my caches. Oh, which means I'm going to have to wait another few hours for this thing to fill up. But I'll do that at some point. I'll optimize this base even further, and try and get it a little bit faster. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we've had this base stopped for long enough. What are you still doing? Oh, you just got some crap left over. So we're going to press I, reset, press this again, reset again. Want to make sure everything's cleared off. Everything's gone. Sometimes you press I and you clear everything off. Oh, by the way, you press I to clear everything off. Sometimes you do that and there's some crap like hidden between the belt and the platform. It just sort of spills out, so you have to do it a few times. I'm not accidentally clearing any Crystal MAM stuff. Geez, this Crystal MAM. What is going on with this Crystal MAM? Why are you still not producing anything? You're taking forever. And that's the old shape. Yeah, this Crystal MAM. So slow. Okay, that shape's going through. That shape's going through. That one and the top one is coming to that. So we're starting to get there. My God, that is slow. Okay, well, let's not talk about the Crystal MAM anymore, because we'll be here for freaking ages. All right. Let's give it a crack. So we're going to start it again. I'm going to do another timed run. I expect it to be taking the same amount of time. But yeah, we're going to be doing that sort of stuff. So I'm going to click this. We're going to, so it was 2:08 last time. And 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay. Whoa. Again, just started lagging a little bit. So, as we can see here, this one is pins. So the pins have started kicking off on the filter. They're coming across, they're going down, and every single quarter right now is doing exactly the same thing. Let's look at a quarter that's not pins. I'm sick of pins. I don't want to talk about pins. Here we go. So here is, what is it, the bottom shape? The bottom left of the bottom shape. Yeah. So we got this thing. It's coming along. It's being split off here. It's going through. It's doing all the cutting and being sent over. You can see all of these belts are they've already been going. They've already got going. All these jumpers are happening. We've already started stacking the 2 left sides and the 2 right sides. Yep, the 2 right sides. That one takes a little bit longer. I think because these belts take a little bit longer or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, we've got the left and the right. They're already coming through into here, getting stacked. We have the full bottom layer already stacked. Some areas it's a little bit quicker than others. Coming into the main platform, 3rd layer is made it. Top layer has made it. 2nd layer has made it. 2nd layer is always the last. I'm not sure why. They should be these two. They should be identical, really. Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of delay. It's a bit hard to do a speed run when you got your game slowing down. Maybe I should turn the performance level off, like the graphics way down or something like that. I'm not sure if that'll help, because I really do think it's something to do with the jumpers. But yeah, we're not gonna beat 2 minutes. We're definitely not going to beat 2 minutes. We're actually going to get a really slow time here. I feel like this was, whoa. We're about to hit it. We're about to hit it. We're about to hit it. 2:07 and 99 seconds. You got to be crapping me. Okay, so we didn't improve our time at all. But I mean, that's 2:08. That's 2:08. We're actually going to 2:08. There we go. 2:08. That is our MAM right there. So there we go. Going from hitting the button to getting the actual results done. And yeah. So this is the interesting thing. I'm thinking about something at the moment, and you guys do not like what I'm thinking about, because what I'm thinking about is this whole speedrun concept. I think there are a lot of people out there, some of them watching this video, who probably would like to do something like this, like to smash up their own MAM, write their own speedrun MAM, do something like this. And I think that's a great idea. I think you guys should definitely, if you want to, if you're interested in something like this, go out, design your own blueprint MAM, design your own speed MAM, sorry, and throw it out there and see how fast you can get it. I'm wondering if I upload the blueprint for this. Because if I upload the blueprint for this, then I've got a plan, and my plan is to go through and optimize this and see how fast I can get it. Because this is my MAM, this is my speed MAM. I want to optimize it, I want to see how fast I can get it. And if I upload the blueprint, some genius is just going to optimize it to the nth degree and add like 8 more belts onto it, and then it'll be done in like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I'll just be like, well, that's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to immediately update the blueprint for this. I'm going to keep the blueprint in my current machine, in my current save game, and I'm going to tinker with it over, I don't know, the next week or so, something like that. And then I am going to do all those things that I talked about before to optimize it as far as possible. I'm going to get my time down to the lowest possible that I think I can get it. That I humanly think it is possible for this MAM to get any lower. And then once I am 100% satisfied that it cannot get any lower, then I'm going to upload it, and then you guys who want to update this, guys or girls, apologize, who want to update this, who want to make it even more optimized, then you can have a crack at it. But I'm going to optimize it as much as possible. Now, having said that, if you want to build your own speed MAM from scratch, by all means, let me know how fast it is. Yeah, because that would be incredible. I definitely think less than 2 minutes is possible. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that less than 1 minute is not possible. It's just not possible. I think what will probably happen is we'll do a bunch of little optimizations everywhere, and we'll probably end up like at the 140, 130 is a bit of a stretch, but I think 140 is quite a stretch, but I think we could possibly get there. Yeah, so you squeeze that stuff into here, and then you've got these two over here. You move these guys a little bit closer. You save a few seconds here and there, so you get below 2 minutes, and I think that's definitely possible. But yeah, I think a minute is definitely impossible, completely 100% impossible. And yeah, a minute is definitely impossible. 130, probably impossible, but I'm not sure. Now, let me just sort of clarify a little bit about, because I'm sort of inventing this category of speedrun, so I want to lay down some rules. Originally, it was designed for when you finish a shape, you hit the button. It's the time from hitting the button to getting the first shape, from having this tick over to 1. Now that is the spirit of the challenge. Now we have added this button so we can turn it off and turn it on, but that is the spirit of the challenge still, which means that obviously you can't cache this shape anywhere. You can't cache this shape. You can't cache this shape. You have to, your machine has to work as if you just click this button, went over to a new random shape, and you do that sort of thing. So yeah, basically for it to be completely in the spirit speedrun, what you should be doing is you finish off a shape, you turn the machine off, you clear all the belts, you switch over to the new shape, and then you press the button to turn it on, and that is your speedrun. Now, realistically, if you turn the machine off, clear the belts, and then turn the machine on again, that basically just does the same thing, except you have to sit here and wait for the purple star to show up, instead of looking at this and hitting the number 1. But you understand what I'm talking about when you say the spirit of the challenge. No caching half-completed shape. Well, here's the thing. You can cache half-completed shapes. You can cache whatever the hell you want, but you cannot say, okay, this is my shape, I'm going to cache this. It has to be a MAM. It still has to be a MAM. So you have to cache, it still has to work as a MAM. Now you can cache this shape, but then if the MAM changes and you're caching this shape, then what are you going to do? Are you going to cache every single possible combination of layer? I mean, what is that? 33 to the power of 4? No, you can't cache that many different things. You just can't. It's impossible. And that's not even including empties. So you can't cache 34 to the power of 4 belts. Ooh. But if you wanted to say, do something fancy, like caching every, like here, for example, if we have a look, there's 4 different gray shapes. And so for one side, that's 16 different things. For one side of a layer, that's 16 possible combinations of gray shapes. And if you include pins, that's 25 different combinations. So you could cache a dot and a pointy as one of those 25 belts already joined together, because grays show up quite a lot. But then again, it still has to be a fully functional MAM. So if one of these is not gray, then that cache becomes useless. And whatever space you use to squeeze that cache in becomes useless. So I'm not sure if that would work. I mean, you could do it. You could have a little square over here that caches, I don't know what it would cache. You'd have to send it in and slip it past this stacker, which I don't think makes any sense, to be honest, because, yeah, this stacker is, belt-wise, are still pretty fast. Like, you're not losing a lot of speed. The only thing you would gain from pre-stacking one side and caching it over here is you can send this directly over there instead of sending it up a little bit, across, and then down. That's all the time I suppose, technically you are saving time, because this stacker does still take a little bit. Even though it's a full belt throughput here and a full belt throughput out there, the stacker does still take a little bit of time. So you'd be saving that time. Might be a few seconds. Might be 5 or 6 seconds total that you would save. But then the pre-cache would only work for that particular edge, that particular side. And the pre-cache shape would go through and it would get down to here and it would have to wait. Because it would be waiting for example, this bottom one, which is pure white. Or this one, which is a combination of white and grey. So if you didn't pre-cache everything and managed to get lucky, then at least one of these would have to build up, and then every other pre-cached side would have to wait for that one to be built up. So I just don't know. I don't think you can pre-cache anymore, because you'd have to pre-cache every side, every combination of sides, which is 33 to the power of 2, which is, how much is that? 33 times 33 is 1,000. So yeah, you can't pre-cache 1,000, 1,089 to be exact. But you can't pre-cache 1,089 belts for all of the different sides. Whew. But anyway, I'm getting very, very tired. But that is it. That is my 2:08, 2 minutes and 8 seconds Speed MAM. And I've already got some ideas about how we're going to increase it. So first things first, we can move these 2 belts closer. We can shave off 2 of these, move these 2 belts up. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we can redesign this filter so that it's a lot closer. So we can squeeze this a lot closer. Third thing, I'm going to update this so all the gray shapes are in the middle and all the white shapes are closer to them. And then we're sort of gonna move around there a little bit. And I might put the pins right at the middle. Well, the pins are close to the middle. And so we're gonna rearrange that so that all of the most viewed shapes, especially the grays, are close to the middle. We could split off here and go down the center. That would be slightly quicker as well. I might think about that. Split off here. So we have all the grays and all the whites and then the pins and stuff like that. We split off here and then we go down the middle. And that would actually be quicker, I think, rather than going off the side. I got to think about that. That's definitely an idea. So that would save us a little bit of time. I'm not really sure how to save time in this section. I think we'll do what we talked about, which is moving these two tiles over, putting this, and this into the hub directly. So these two belts would go into this stacker, and then this stacker would be sitting right here. So if we have a look, oh, that's squishy. That's very squishy. That's very squishy. We'd have to shave a belt off somewhere. We would have to shave a belt off somewhere. That's all right. Well, we'd have to shave these back belts off. That's okay. We can shave one of these back belts off by going up to the 3rd level. Although these are double. These are going in 2 different directions. We could do that. We could do that. We'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way to shave those off. And then we can move this in here. This one, that should be pretty simple. We can shave off some space up the back. Squeeze that in there. And then we're basically eliminating this entire period, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a good 6 seconds from this. That's a very good. Okay. So with all of those 3, we're definitely going below 2 minutes. That is 100%. And potentially we could get it below 150. I don't know if it's actually possible to get below 150. I think below 150 is possible on this guy. I definitely think so. So yeah, that's what we're going to aim for. 150, maybe in the 140s. I don't know. But I think we got a pretty good chance. So anyway, that has been my Speed MAM. And there we go. There's the Crystal MAM. It took like 40 minutes. Like when did we cut this over? At like the 10-minute mark, 15-minute mark, something like that? And now it's like the 45-minute mark. And this thing has finally shown up. So this is not a Speed MAM. This Crystal guy is not a... And you can see how it took me so long to get up to level 42, because this thing is so... I'm not going to do a Speed Crystal MAM. I'm not sure if you can. This one lends itself to a Speed MAM pretty nicely. It's got these little gaps. Why are there little gaps in the belt? I'm going to blame the jumpers. Yeah, I'm blaming the jumpers. Let's have a look actually. Let's see if we can see why there's a gap in this one. Yeah, there's a gap. I'm not sure. There's a gap in these belts. Why is there a gap in these belts? Is there something going wrong with my bloody thing? I don't like these cutters because sometimes they stall up in weird ways. Now this is still a full belt going through. But yeah, sometimes they stall up in weird ways. As long as this belt is going full through, then there's no issue. This is why I usually like to split them off here and then split them in 2, because you do 50, 50, and then each side does 50, 50. And I think that generally works a little bit nicer and a little bit neater. It's got slightly less issues. But I have had issues where I sort of feed it in through... I've got a blueprint, actually. These are my general do random things blueprints. So I got this guy. And sometimes this one backs up in weird ways because it like splits off and then I do cutting and rotating and weird stuff. And then I stack them together later on. Because because that's very efficient. But sometimes this process screws up, and it always seems to be on the bottom belt. It just doesn't synchronize properly. Probably because there's different belt lengths between this one and this one, and it never recovers. So, but here we're just splitting it, and then we kind of are merging it much later on, but potentially you can have some weird problems with that sort of stuff. Having said that, this is a Speed MAM, so we don't really need to worry about that. And even in the regular MAM, like the regular MAM probably has this problem as well, with little gaps every now and then. But I'm going to blame it on that. I'm going to blame it on the cutting, and then the slightly different belt differences between the two different cut halves or cut quarters between them and the stacker sort of runs into that issue. But anyway, yes, as I said, no blueprint for now. I will update the blueprint later, and once I am 100% satisfied that I have fully optimized this to my heart's content, that I, with my huge brain, cannot get it any faster, I will upload another video. We will check out my new time, and then I will upload the blueprint and let you guys go nuts on it. So apologize in advance, but yes. Please, by all means, create your own Speed MAM. Let me know how fast you got it. And yes, there we go. How close are we to getting this? Still a little bit ways off. We're not going to wait for that to finish. I'm not sure why we would anyway. But yeah, that has been the Speed MAM. And yeah, once again, let's just look at the insane caching that we were doing. The absolutely insane caching. This is 1 quarter, remember? We've got one of these for every single quarter. This is nuts. And we have got train stations full. This is 1 quarter, remember? All these 11 stations, these 11 things, this is 3,000 of every single shape is stored here. 3,000 of, actually 4,000 if you include this. 4,000 of every single shape is cached per quarter. This is nuts. And then we go over to the actual distribution thing, and they got all these filled up. And we got all these filled up for the individual shapes. You will have to run this thing for hours. Well, you can't run this because I'm not giving you the blueprint. But when I finally do give you the blueprint, you will have to run this for hours and hours and hours for all those caches to fill up before you can even hit the button and start the MAM. But yeah, it is. I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to look at the trains. We're going to finish off. Here we go. We're going to look at all the pretty trains. These insane amount of trains. And this is really it. This is the secret of building a Speed MAM, is you got to cache like nobody's business. You've got to get as much caching as possible, as close to the MAM as possible. You got to squeeze like you would not believe to get this many shapes this close. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Oh, we're still working on the same shape we've always been worked in. So yeah, we can cut these ones down another 2 belts, and yeah. But that's it. I mean, I originally wanted these caches to be a lot closer, like this one. I wanted it to be a lot closer. This one you could actually move closer. Maybe we'll try that. No, here's the thing. If we move these down 2, then suddenly, it's interesting because we move this down 2, then we've got a belt going down there and a belt coming down there. We could possibly move this one down even further. So this block, instead of being down here, we move it down here. We'd have to swap over that to the other side, which we could do. Because these ones are the edge ones, so they're the ones that are slower. So we definitely want to move that first. And then we'd have to send a belt in from the other side, which would be going up here, which basically means that we no longer have room to send these ones in. Or we could send one belt from one side, and that's it. Oh, we'd only have room left for one to go in. That would mean cutting off one of my MAMs, which is, I mean, look, we could, that's fine. We could dupe these onto the single belt, squeeze them on a single belt. What is the Crystal MAM really producing 2 different carriages? I don't remember doing that. No, it's just producing 1. It's just producing one cargo section for 1 carriage. So we don't even need this one. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so we could squeeze these onto 1 belt and then send that belt through the middle, and then we could move this around a bit to get it a little bit closer. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing. New crystal. Look at these crystal shapes. It looks very, very fancy, but again, only 1 crystal color per layer. But the painting always confuses me a little bit. It makes me think that it's 2 crystal colors per layer, but it never is. It never is. Well, this gap, by the way, this gap is due to the train switching containers. So it empties out a container, and then it starts pulling in a new one. And that gap is what happens when it does that. So that is just unavoidable, unfortunately. I might be able to see that again. It just started on this new container. Actually, it's been going for a while, so I'm not sure if we're actually going to see a gap there. Oh, there we go. There's the gap. There's the gap when it moved over to the new container. So, yes, I always used to think that it was 100% throughput no matter what, but there is this gap when the container... This is actually a tiny gap. The other gap that we saw on this one was much bigger. That's interesting. Ooh, excuse me. It's very early in the morning. It's like 6:30 in the morning. And once again, I have cast a video that is 52 minutes. I just cannot help myself. I just keep talking, and then around the 52-minute mark, I take a look, and yeah. You know what? We're getting very close to actually finishing this off. What I'm going to do is, just to prove that this is a full MAM, this is a proper MAM. I mean, I've already proved it, but we're going to show you anyway. We're going to do a speed run on the new shape. Now, I've turned it off, but there's more than enough coming through this station and so on to finish the shape off. Then we're going to do one more speed run. We're going to let this clear out, and we're going to probably get the same amount of time again. This is the good thing about the MAM is it's all logic, so it's very consistent. You might have a couple of seconds difference depending on the shape. Like, for example, this guy is all the way off to the side. If you start getting a grey pointy on all the way over the side, then you might lose a couple of seconds. But then again, if you get a white diamond, you might gain a couple of seconds. Well, not a couple of seconds. Maybe a couple of seconds. I don't know. It's very interesting. So just waiting for these belts to clear off a bit. Yeah. Yeah, because it has to go all the way over there, which means this one always clears out the last. That's definitely an optimization, sending the belt down into here. Although there's a wire there, so that's why I sent that one off to the side there, because there's a wire there. You could send it all the way over here, dump it down, and then you'd have to go there. That's a little bit janky, but... So many optimizations I would need to make for this thing. So many tiny little optimizations to shave a few seconds off. That's crazy. And then some guy will come along and he'll say, oh, I can do it in a minute. There we go. And he'll just make one that does it in a minute. And I'll just be like, I thought that was impossible. You guys are ruining my video. Okay. Press I, clear that. Press I, clear, clear, clear. I don't know why this continuously shows it. Yeah. There's something weird about... Okay, so we clear it again. These guys should now be clear. No little things. You don't want things lying around on the belts because they fall into a stacker and then they sit there and then they just don't get dumped until something else comes next. What is with this? What is with white and grey shapes with pins on them? I swear to God, the last 3 have been white and grey shapes with pins on them. Usually there's a lot of colour. I don't want to redesign my MAM for white and grey and then, you know, suddenly it starts going purple or something like that. That would be nuts. I do not want to do that. But anyway, we're going to start doing a speed run. We're going to do the time and all right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Toggled it on and the MAM is spinning up. Yeah, this pins thing has to go all the way over there and all the way out. That's a few seconds at least. My God, that's slow. Okay, we definitely need to fix this. I'm going to put pins right in the middle. I'm going to move this over to the air. And so it goes over there and then goes backwards and splits off. That's what I think I want to do. Yeah, technically we do get this left side coming out very early. But I like to get all 4 of them coming out early because, yeah, you never know if this one, this left one, see this left one is waiting for this middle one. This left one stacks on this middle one and this middle one is a little bit more delayed because it's this one over here and it has to wait slightly longer. So yeah, so that's another little inefficiency on this guy. Probably, I don't know, 2 seconds there, 3 seconds, something like that. Oh yeah, I'm smashing this one down very low. I'm definitely getting a much better time on this one with all these inefficiencies. This one's taking a sweet time. We're already up to 1 minute 10. Oh, we haven't even made a full layer yet. 1 minute 20. I feel like this is taking ages. Okay. If we were doing splits, then we would say it's 1 minute 30 to get the first, to get layers. I don't know if we'd ever do splits, but that seems a little bit too much. Okay. It's 1:45. I think we're ramping up to probably get the same sort of thing. Oh, that's it. That's the first full shape. We got the first full shape. 2 minutes. It's going to be around 2:08. So I got my finger over the button. 2:08:54. Okay. So we got it 2:07:99 once, but 2:08:54 is about the same. So yeah. So we don't care about stack dumpers. And there we go. So that is going to be our video, and I'm actually going to call it here because I don't want videos over the hour mark, but we've speed run it 3 times. We've got a 2:08 pretty much 3 times. I reckon I could get 150, maybe even less, because there's a lot of optimizations we could make. So I reckon 150 is definitely on the cards. 140 probably on the cards. 130, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if we'll reach 130. 1 minute is 100% impossible for an actual MAM, okay? We're building an actual MAM here. We're not building some hacky thing. It's a full-on MAM. So I think 1 minute is impossible for a MAM. But feel free to prove me wrong. Anyway, that's it. Zoom out. Look at all the trains in all their glory. Look at this beautiful, this whole thing is the entire MAM. It is massive. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.